Hey everyone, Tinman here, and I want to answer a question that I know many players have asked about Dota Underlords because it's not very clear in the game. How does the shared hero pool work? The only thing in game about it is this little paragraph on the Heroes tab, which is actually even slightly wrong in itself, and doesn't really explain in detail what's going on. So in a match of Underlords, players build their crew from a shared pool of heroes that consists of 45 copies of each Tier 1 hero, 30 copies of each Tier 2 hero, 25 copies of each Tier 3 hero, 15 copies of each Tier 4 hero, and that's actually the wrong part. It's actually 20 copies of each Tier 4 hero. That was changed in patch notes some while back, but they haven't actually updated it in-game. And then 10 copies of each ace. When a player is eliminated from a match, all units they have hired are returned to the shared pool. So let's walk through the algorithm that the game uses every time a hero appears in your shop. First, for each of the 5 slots in your shop, the game will randomly determine what tier of units is to appear. So over here on the glossary tab, these probabilities are shown in a chart, and they're based on your current level, your shop odds per player level. Every level has different odds. So for instance, if we are level 6, then each of the 5 slots in the shop will each have a 35% chance of being a tier 1 unit, a 30% chance of being a tier 2 unit, a 30% chance of a tier 3, and 5% of a tier 4. So let's say it randomly decides to pick a tier 2 unit for us. So we got a 30% chance, we hit that 30% chance, and the first slot in our shop is going to be a tier 2 unit. Then what happens? So we have to go back to the hero tab, and we see from this paragraph that there are 30 copies of each tier 2 hero. So we scroll down and we see that there are a total of 16 possible tier 2 heroes. Once again, ignoring any jails that may be banning out certain of these units, or if anybody else has bought any units. So let's just ignore those for a moment and just think there's 16 tier 2 units in the pool. Let's pull up a calculator real quick, and we see that we've got 16 units times the 30 units each, or 16 different times 30 copies. That's 480 units in the pool. So if no other unit's been purchased, then you have a 1 out of 16 chance, or 30 divided by that 480 chance of getting, that's multiply. Sorry, we get 30 divided by 480 for 0.625, or 6.25% chance of finding the specific unit that you want. So this is after the game has already chosen to give you a tier 2 unit. You have a 6.25% chance of that being a specific tier 2 unit that you want. Let's say you're looking for Chaos Knight in particular, and you know that since Chaos Knight is a very popular unit in a lot of Knights compositions, pretty much every Knights player is going to want him, and most players even want Chaos Knight just because he's a good unit. You see, by looking at the scoreboard, you see that 2 other players have also picked up Chaos Knight, and they've gotten 6 copies total. Two different people have a 2-star. So how does that change your odds? So you used to have 30 copies of Chaos Knight in the pool, but now 6 of them have been taken out. So now you only have 24 copies of Chaos Knight left in the pool. And the total pool, once again, assuming nothing else has been bought out of tier 2, you used to have 480, and now you have -6, so you have 474. But only 24 of those are Chaos Knights, so you got to go 24 divided by 474. And that'll get you about 5.06% chance, or about a 5% chance of getting a Chaos Knight in particular, because other people are contesting it. Other people are buying the unit that you're looking for. And that's definitely a decrease from the 6.25% chance we had. Now it's down almost 1.25%. So this might not sound like a whole lot, but if you consider the size of the hero pools for the lower tier units, the 45 copies of each tier 1, 30 copies of each tier 2, the relative impact of somebody taking 3 or 6 or even 9 copies of some of these units may not be that huge. But once you get up into the higher tiers, when you have 20 copies of each tier 4 hero or 10 copies of each ace, this effect gets much bigger. So let's say we have, we're trying to find a tier 4 unit, which once again there are 20 copies of. Then let's say Arc Warden. That's one of the most popular tier 4 units right now. And we assume that 2 other people have picked up Arc Warden. So let's take a look at this. There's 14 different tier 4 heroes. So the initial pool size is going to be 14 times the 20 units for 280 units in the pool. And the game will randomly pick one of those 280 units to give to you. Normally, you'd have a 20 out of 480, which is going to be 1 out of 14, or about a, oh wait, sorry, I did it out of 480. 20 out of 280. I'm not good with calculators today, apparently. So about a 7.1% chance of finding the specific unit that you're looking for. In this case, the Arc Warden. But if we know that other people are contesting that Arc Warden, let's say, once again, 6 copies have been bought somewhere else on the board, now you only have 14 Arc Wardens left in the pool, and instead of out of 280, you only have 274, because 6 of them have been removed. So what is that now? Now you have a 5.1% chance of finding it, and that's about a 2% decrease from what it was before. So you can see, as the tiers go up and the unit pool gets smaller, the relative impact of people contesting those units goes up, meaning you're losing a greater percentage of finding those units. And this is definitely magnified over the course of a long game when you're running these percentages over and over again every round, every reroll. And also whenever you're trying to find 3 stars on a unit. If you're trying to find a 3-star copy of Chaos Knight, which other people are going for, now you have those less odds, but now you need to find 6 copies of it, or the full 9 copies of something, which is just going to be much harder the more they're contested. And that's why you always want to scout out your opponents to see what units they're buying, and ideally you try to stay away from the ones that everybody else is doing, because then it'll be easier for you to find your units and easier to find the upgrades that you want, rather than going for the ones everybody else is doing. So I hope this has cleared up this somewhat opaque system for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them, and thank you so much for watching.